Hello everyone. So you're welcome one more time to my YouTube channel. All right, so I designed this beautiful report and I want to show us how I did it. Now I made this report such that it looked like a small website, like an app, such that when I control click on each of these buttons, it should take me to the page where I can see what's there. For example, if I control click on trends, you see, it brings me to this page that I have trends, I have some visuals here. When I control click on segmentation, it brings me to a page that has segmentation. So I'm going to show us how I did this from start to finish, the data set that I used, and I'll share the data set in the description so that we can download it and also try. Okay, so let's go and open a blank report and start. All right, so to do this, I'll just go File, and I'll do a click on blank report, and when I click on blank report, it should open up a new blank report like this, and so we can start. All right, so to get data, I'll just go get data, and Excel, my data is in an Excel workbook. I'm going to go Excel workbook, and I save that somewhere on my desktop. Open that up. This data I'm using. So I'm using this HR data set for this analysis. I'm going to try to work with this data set. I'll see if it's dirty. Now, this data set is pretty much clean. So if I take that to my I take that to my Power Query editor, you notice that the data set is more or less very clean. There's nothing more to do there. Okay, let me just drag it. Just a minute. Okay, here we have. Okay, so I have this data set is just clean. There's nothing I want to do here. I've checked the all everything here is okay. If you look at each of the columns here, for example, if you look at the employee name, you notice that the data type is okay. For this one is okay. These are numbers, whole numbers. The data set is more or less clean. I've looked at it and I've gone through it already. It's clean. So, but the only thing I want to change here is just to change the name of this data set. I don't like this name, so I'm just going to just delete this. So I want the name to just be HR. That's all I want. So that's what I want. The name of my query. Press enter on this, and then nice. I've changed the name. Everything is perfect to me, so I don't need to do much here. Okay. So that I've done this, I'll simply just go close and apply. Now, if I was working with a sales data set, all right, then I probably want to need to add my calendar table, that's my dates table. But in this case, I'm working with an HR data set. I don't need to have a dates table in this particular one. It's really not necessary. All right. So I'm going to try to work with this. All right. So we can go and view what this data set looks like. If I go to my table view, and that is clicked, is highlighted, you just see the entire data set. All right, let me scroll so we can see. Now, as a data analyst, one thing I want to do is to try to understand my data I am working with each time. I'm given a new data set to work with. I try to see it. I can try to understand it. Okay, so for this, you can see this is a HR data set. You can see the name of each employee ID, married ID. This married ID is telling us if the person is married or not. If I click on this, I'll see all of the tables I have, just 0 and 1. 1 might mean married, 0 might mean not married. All right, so I can just look at that. The marital status ID and all of that, gender ID. I just want to understand the data set. That's the first thing I want to do. I have an understanding of the data set. I have their salary, position. Okay, and then when I come here, I see something like race description, citizen description. I see date of hire, date the person was hired, date of termination. Now it means if I see this is blank, it will simply mean this anywhere this is blank will mean that this person is still actively employed in this organization. All right. I'm just going down to more to check. I see department, manager name, manager ID, recruitment source, LinkedIn, performance score, engagement survey. I don't know what this means, but this might probably mean if the person has been engaged in a survey, or I don't know what this means. I'm just seeing this. Okay. And then employee satisfaction. Okay, I think I can understand this. Okay. Last performance review. All right. So then absences. All right. So I've seen my data set. Let me go back to my report view. Now in my report view, because I'm going to try to create some. I'm going to try and create some measures. I like to put every measure I create in a particular table, so I will not have my measures, included in all of this here. It will be difficult to search for the measure, so I want the measure to be in one particular table, such that whenever I'm looking for a measure, I can just go to the table and I'll get the measure. All right, to do that, I'm going to create a new table. A lot of ways I can create a table, but one of the way I like to do it is to go over here and click on enter data. So when I click on enter data, it gives me this window where I can create my table. I'm going to name my table. I'm going to name my table all measures. And I can also rename. I can also name this column. I can just call it measures, whatever. Or I can leave it like that. Now say load data. There's nothing in that table. It's just just a table where you have a single column, and then I have the name of the table and the name of the column. That's all. All right. So before I do anything, another thing I want you to notice is, if you look at the one that I created here, you see there's a color theme. You have this light green background, and then everything is just green. If I go to this too, you see it's the same thing. All right, so you see you have light green background and everything there is green. All right, now how did I get this particular thing that I use? There's a website here. If you look at this website, it's called colorhunt.io. So I was looking for a theme to use, so I went here and I saw this. I saw this. This one I used. All right. So look at the hex code of this color, 00712D. And then you look at this one, 0D5E D9F. This is the color scheme that I use for this project. All right. So before I do anything, I want to change my canvas background to be this color. So let's go over here. Let's go over here, and I'm going to do that. Just right click here, and you see format canvas, or I can come and click. My canvas is my format print. Now get the same thing. All right, so I'm just going to go to canvas background, and I'll change the color. Go to more colors, and then I'll change this color. Let's go check that thing out again. This is D5E D9F. D5E D9F. Let's go. D5E D9F. Or more, D5E D9F. D5E D9F. All right, and once I get this, I click away. Now I see how the color is changed, but it's not showing yet because the transparency is still 100%. So I'm just going to reduce that transparency to 0. And then boom, I have my background. So everything I'll be doing now will have this background. All right, that's what I want to do. Now, next thing I want to create is start creating measures. Before I create measures, I want to answer some questions. All right, so let me open my notepad and so I can paste the questions that I want to answer. Just open my notepad. Okay, this is my notepad. I'm going to close some of this. All right, so these are the questions I want to answer. The first question is, just copy these. Let me paste that here. Okay, the first question I want to answer is, what is the current workforce composition in terms of full-time versus part-time employees and contractors? What's the current workforce in terms of full-time versus part-time employees and contractors? Okay, that's the first question I want to answer. All right, so let's look at our, let's go to our data view again and view our data. So you can see these are data sets. There's something like full-time, part-time, and contract staff. There's nothing like that. So I'm going to try and create something that will help me, that will help show that. Now, if you look at the other one that I did, I was able to do that using, let's go to the data view here. I'm able to do that using this engagement survey. All right, let's go there. Let me just scroll down. You see, I created a new column on this, and if you see, I used engagement survey. All right, so what I'll do is to say, if the HRO, for example, this is HRO my name of my table is called HRO. Now, if the HRO column called engagement survey is greater than or equal to 3.5, let that person be a full-time staff. Otherwise, if the HRO engagement survey is greater than or equals to 2, let that person be a part-time staff. Otherwise, let the person be a contractor. That's the entire thing I just did. So let's just go back there and try to, let me just copy this, Control C, and let's go back there and try to do that. So I'm going to come here and create a new column to answer that question. So I'm going to go with this table selected. It's selected now. I'm going to go up here. You see new column. I'm going to create new column, and a new column is created for me. And then the formula for the column in my formula bar is activated now. So let's try and create that. So I'm going to call this workforce composition. Workforce composition. And what I'm using here is Shift Enter, just to go to the next page. Just going to paste everything that I copied there. Now this is giving me, I'm saying if HRO engagement survey, if on the table HRO, the column engagement survey is greater than or equal to 3.5, let that staff be full-time. Otherwise, if HRO engagement, the table HRO on the column engagement survey is greater than or equals to 2, let the staff be part-time. Otherwise, let the person be a contractor. This is what will be my workforce composition. I think I want to use just a minute. Okay, I have workforce composition. Nice. I'm going to put some speed. Okay, so I'm going to say okay now. Let's see what we get. It's working now. Beautiful. So now you can see I have workforce composition, and then you can see I have some full-time there, part-time. Now with this I can easily answer the question. All right, you can easily just answer the question. I have my workforce. If you keep scrolling down, you find all that. All right, so I have my workforce composition question already answered for me. All right, so let's see what's the next one. So now I have my workforce composition. Let's go back to report view here to see what I did. All right. So if you see, next thing I want to find out is active employees. Now I'm doing my workforce composition showing full-time, part-time, and contract staff. I want to do it based on the number of active employees, because if you look at this data set, for example, you scroll and look at this data set, you'll discover that there are some persons whose jobs have been terminated. Look at, if I just keep scrolling, at some point start seeing people. So some of these guys, their jobs have been terminated. So my workforce composition shouldn't include those whose jobs have been terminated. So I want to have a measure that will calculate, that will give me, the total number of people who are still working. And for that, I would like to use calculate. If you look at what I did here, I use calculate, the calculate function, active employees. You see, I use it. I just like to copy everything, so I don't have to do it twice. I'll use the calculate function to show this. I'm just going to Control C this so I can see this will be fast for me. All right, so in my measure, I have my measure here. All right, click on measure and I'll see new measure. Right, and then that will be created for me. I have my formula bar is loading. Okay, so I'm going to call these active employees, and I'll Control Shift Enter to go to the new line. I'll just paste everything there. As a matter of fact, I can put a comment to always tell me what this particular code is doing. I can say calculates the total number of active employees. All right, so this is a comment, so it won't be read by the Power BI engine. So I'm going to say okay. So now I can have my active employees. Okay, so now I have my active employees. I can just show, I can answer the first question, which talks about what's the current workforce composition in terms of full-time, part-time, and contractors. By just simply, I can show that on a stack bar chart. Click on the stack bar chart. All right, I'll just pull that down. Okay, I just place that here, increase it a little. All right, I have a stack bar chart. So I can show active employees, maybe my workforce composition. That's what I want to show, workforce composition to active employees. All right, so you can see I already have that. So like you can see full-time, part-time, and contract staff. And before I continue, I think the text is small. The text are too tiny. I like to increase, the font in my entire visual. Of course, I can go and select the visual and start increasing. I'll go to my format and I'll increase that. But that means that for every visual that I do, I have to do that as well. So the better way of doing it is to increase the font for the entire theme that I'm using. So I'm going to do that now. I'll go to View and I'll drop down this arrow. I'm head over to Customize Current Theme and Text. And now I'm going to increase this to like, let's say 13 point is okay, 13 point, and I'll apply. So right now, the entire font in all of my visuals here will just be increased. So if I bring in a new visual, it will take up the same font. All right. Now next is these bars here. I don't want them to have this blue. I want them to carry the green that we saw here. Is this green 00712D? That's what I want. 00712D. So for every visual that I bring, I want to carry this 0012D. So I'm going to do it for the first one here, 0012D. Click on that and I'll just go to my format tab here with this selected. I want to change this bars. We're going to zoom down to where I have bars. I click on bars and I click on this color and more colors. I'll just change it to 00712D. 00712D, and that will give me the color that I'm looking for. Okay, now whatever I do with this, I'll just copy paste this particular visual, and so every other visual will carry the same formatting. All right, so next I would like to remove the background. I don't want this white background, so I'm just going to scroll up and look for where I have background. I'll drop style this down and I'll remove the background. All right, so I have it without the background, but I want the visual border. So yeah, I can separate each visual. That's what I want. Next thing I want to do is I want to customize this a little. The title text. I'm going to make that 15. Just drop that and I'll make that bold. All right, so pretty much I have my first visual ready. So I've answered the first question that talks about the workforce composition. I can see that clearly that my workforce composition has about 169 percent of 1/9 of the staff are full time. I have 33 of the staff are part time, and the rest of them, about 5 of the staff are contract staff. Okay, that's my workforce composition. The next question I want to answer here is what are the trends? What are the trends in the workforce? I just want to copy that question so we can see it. Let me paste that here. So what are the trends in the workforce? For workforce trends, you could see my trend here. Okay, so you could see my trend here. Okay, so I'm able to show workforce trend by just showing us terminated employees and active employees. Okay, how did I calculate? Already we have calculated active employees. What we want to calculate now is the terminated employees, and it's the same thing, the same measures that I use. If you look at my active employees, the only difference here is I'm going to filter where we have active employees as this and this. Now, why am I doing this? Let me explain this. Now, I'm going to count. I'm going to go to my. Let's go to. Let me go here. Now, if you scroll down and look at where we have terminated employees, all right. Let's see date of exactly. If you scroll down and see where we have date of termination. Okay, hold on. Let me open that so I can be explaining why I'm doing that. All right. Okay, so you can see where I have employee status. Okay, if I go down, scroll down, I want to be viewing that as well. Okay, where you have employee status, I just want to show something. Employee status. So we can see why. Nice. So I have employee status. You can see some employees are active, some are terminated. There are just three input in this particular column. You have active, so you have the employees active, you have employees terminated for cause, and then voluntarily terminated. So these two groups, terminated for cause and voluntarily terminated, are no more staff of this organization. So I'm going to say count everybody here in this data set, but count them only where you have terminated for cause and voluntarily terminated. But because if you look at our active employees, if you look at the measure we created, we said where the employee status is equal to active, right? But for these terminated employees, we are saying where the employee status is terminated for cause or voluntarily terminated. Add all of it for us. Count the. Let me just copy this, and so we can create that ourselves. So let's go to our new file where we are creating that, and let's create a new measure. I'm going to click on this, go back to my home tab. I'll click on measures, click on all measures, and I can go new measure. Let's go my new measure, and so let's create that measure. So what I'm looking for here is I want to calculate terminated employees. Terminated employees, and I'm just going to paste everything that I copied. All right, so like I showed, I'm saying calculate. Let me bring that down. Shift enter to bring it to the next line. Okay, so I said calculate, count on my employee or my HRO table. If there's a particular column called employee status, count everything there. Count the entire column, but filter where on that same column employee status, where the input is equal to terminated for cause or the input is equal to voluntarily terminated. Now what this measure will do for me, it will count, it will head over to my, let's go here again, it will go to my, okay, just a minute. Let's go back to our table view. Now it will go to my table and it will locate where I have It will locate where I have employee status. Okay. Now, what it will now do is it will count everything on this, but it will only count it where employee status is terminated for cause. That's the only one it will be counted. Only where you have the employee status is either terminated for cause or voluntarily terminated. That's what it will be doing for me. All right. And it will return the figure for me. And I can check that figure out. For example, if I go get like a card, I can just drag this there, and you can see that's the employees that are no more working. Now I can, I can compare this with, if I look at active employees, you can see the difference. These are terminated employees and these are active employees. You can see the difference. Okay, I just want to show us that. Because I'm going to delete this now. Okay, now I want to show my trends. Instead of creating a new visual, I'll just copy this, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and just paste this here. Okay, I can increase this a little more up to this point. Now just about the same space that I have here. I want to increase it a little. Okay, and I'll change that to what's that thing called? I change that to a line chart. Now instead of having the question was what are the trends? So I'm going to show active employees. I'll click on that again. So I don't want workforce instead of workforce. Okay, instead of days, I'm going to remove all of this. I'll just remove field here, and I'll also remove this. Okay, I can allow this, but this time I'll drag the terminated employee here. So let me drag this. I want to add my terminated employees. All right, so I have these two. Now I want to show that over date of hire. I'm going to go down and look for date of hire. Okay, beautiful. So I have my date of hire and it's scrolled down to, let me move that up a little. Okay, so I can see that in terms of years. All right, so I can see that in terms of, you can see the trend. It moves. You can see that between 2016 they did a lot of hire, but from 206, but you see from 207 people have started losing their job. They have the most people who lost their job in 2011. I can just see that that will work for my trend. Now something else I like to show is, let me just move that down a little. Something else I like to show is to show the number of male employees and female employees. I just like to show that because I'm working with HRO. If you look at if you go back to our data set, you see we have a particular column that shows us male and female. Look at the one that talks about sex. Let me look at, for example, see this, I have sex. So I like to have male and female employees. I like to separate them, and I would like to show them as a key measure here, just like I would like to show them as what's it called now? I like to show them like a card, right? So if you look at this one, what I did here, I was able to display this like a card. See, I have like a card here, so I have male and female employees. So I'm going to display that as a new measure. It's the same thing that I did. I just calculated that. I'm copying this so I don't have to retype again. The video will take so long. So I'm going to create a new measure. Just right click and new measure. And this time, let me call this female employees. Let's call this female employees. And I'm going to Control Enter to come to a new line. I'll Control V to paste the thing. Now for this, it's the same thing. I just said count the HR table on the column, on the sex column, and filter for me where HR is equals to female. Now only count, I'm saying only count where the column is showing F, because F represents female. When I say okay, then you see that I have a new measure called female employees. I'm going to create another measure for male employees, and exactly the same thing. The difference is just the F will be replaced for M. So I'm going to call this male employees. I'm just going to Control Enter, and I'll Control V to paste that. But in this case, I'm going to change where I have F. I'm going to change that to M. This represents my male employees, and I'm saying okay. So I have female employees and male employees. Now I like to show that in a card, and that's pretty much easy to show. Okay, so I'm going to bring the card here, or better still, I'm just going to copy this, Control C, Control V, and I'll move that up. This time I'll change it to a card. All right, paste that there. I'm going to put this here. Okay, and I'm making sure everything aligns. Making sure everything aligns perfectly. All right, so I'm going to remove this. Rather, I'll bring in male employees here. All right, so I have my total male employees here, and I have male employees. I'm going to Control C this, Control V, so it will be the same size. Let me delete this. Hold on. Okay, beautiful. Control C, Control V. So this will be here. But this time I'm going to remove this. I'm going to bring in female employees here. All right, so I have female employees, I have male employees. Okay. Now, so I have my female employees and I have my male employees now. Okay, next I want to bring in images to show this is a male, this is a female. To put those images, I'll just head over to my insert tab, and I already have downloaded the images, so I'll go to image, and there's somewhere in my downloads. Now I'm going to bring in this one first, and I'll just place that somewhere here. I'll reduce that, just reduce it, and I want that placed here. The same thing with the female. I'll go image again, and I'll grab the female image, and I'll also reduce it as well. All right, I'll place that here. Still too big. Okay, I think it's pretty much okay. All right. So if you look at my chart is coming up gradually. And next, I want to put the name that I have here. If you look at this one that we have here, you see there's a name here called Human Capital Dashboard and Key Metrics. Okay, so I want that to be here. All right, so I'm just going to go Human Capital Dashboard. Okay, I think I could actually just raise this a little. Okay, let me just type that. Human Capital Dashboard. Now to get that text there, same thing. I'll go text box, and I have my text box. Undo that. All right, I'm going to click this, reduce it a little. I'm going to increase the fonts to like 28, so the font is going to be really big. I'll move that here. Okay. Now I'll just start typing that. I would have just copied this thing. Let's call this. I want everything in caps, all in caps. Human Capital. Let's call that report instead of dashboard. Report. And I want everything bold. Just put bold here. Let's increase our text to like 28. Too big. Let's make that 24. Okay, 24, and then I'll change the text color to this color I've been using. And now I can use this, just move this here, and just do the same thing here. Okay, so I have, okay, one more thing I'm not happy with. I don't like this text, the text background. I think I can remove that easy by just going to format here, and I go size and style. I'll just take out the background, so the text will be without a background. Okay, so I have this human capital dashboard. Okay, something else I want to do again is to, let's just re-edit this. I think so I'll just put the audio, the other right up here. Look at what I wrote here. I call this key metrics and indicators for human capital management. I'm going to copy this. I don't be typing everything. I'll just copy everything here. Ctrl C, so that I can come here and paste that. And I'll do exactly the same thing. Insert, I'll go text box. Ctrl V to paste everything that I copied there. Just reduce this a little more. And I'll grab that and drop it here. I don't want the background, so just going to come over here and remove the background. No background. All right. Just arrange that a little. I'm going to zoom in now so I can, yeah, I can just move that. Okay, I think I'm happy with it here. Zoom out. Okay. All right. So now I have all this ready now. It's beautiful. Something else that we did in this other one was to show innings, inning category by race description and inning category by sex. Something else I want to show you. Inning category by race and inning category by sex. All right, to show any category by race is I have to show what is any category. Okay, so what else I did was to categorize, you know, all of the different employees in terms of their salaries. Now, let's go back to our data view, and you can see I have this particular column called any category. It didn't come with the initial column, so I had to create it myself. So if I show you what I did here, I also use the if function. As I said, if the salary is greater than 7,000, I'm going to call that person high earner. If his salary is greater than 55,000, I'm going to call that person medium earner, and the rest of them will be called low income earners. That's what I did. It's the same if function. I'm just going to copy that so we can head over to our own. Click on my table, and I have done new column because columns will run on row context. So I think I'll do a video on row context. All right, so you need to understand what row context is. But a quick explanation will be the row context will run row by row. So if I write any function here, the function will check on the first row, execute that before going to the next row to execute that. More like it iterates over a particular table or over a particular column. So if I run this function that I did here, let's call this any category. I'll shift enter this and I'll paste this. This should work perfectly. All right, so what happens? The if function works mostly with the as a row context. Of course, there are sometimes you can manipulate to work as a filter context. Okay, that it can then run on as a measure. In this case, to run as a row context. All right, so this if the salary is greater than $75,000, what it does is it goes first and check the salary column and check is it greater than 75,000. If yes, it will return high earners. It goes again and check is it greater than 55,000, 75,000. Yes, it returns high earner. Now, supposing it checks and it doesn't qualify for the first one, is less than 75,000. It checks, okay, is it up to 55,000? Yes, it returns medium earners. So it goes and check if the first condition is true. it does that. If the first condition is not true, it checks for the second condition. If the second condition is not true, then it checks for the third condition. So it runs row by row. Okay, it runs row by row. This is my salary column. Let me scroll up to have my salary column. Okay, executed. And so you can see I have medium and so then we want to scroll down to have my salary row. Okay, nice. So it checks, for example, it checks this first person at N 62,506. His name is Adenofi Wisdom K. So it checks, okay, is this Wilson? Does it earn up to 75,000? It fails the first condition, so it goes and checks for the second condition. And yes, he earns above 55,000. So it will now return. It will return a medium earner. Like in this case, you see medium earner. See, it will return medium earners. All right. And so it checks for this in row by row, and that's what's called the row context. It checks row by row for what if it qualifies for the condition. All right. Now that is explained, let's go and check how we could do that. So I want to have a visual that will explain for me, show me any category, and then I'll see any category by race description and then any category by sex. Okay. Now I'm going to go any category by race description. I'm just going to copy this again. So I don't have to always be creating the color. That's why I'm just copy this and paste it. I'll put it here and just drag that in like this. I want to give some space where I'll put my buttons. Just bring that down a little. I think this is pretty too big. Just reduce that so I can bring this down some more. I want to have space for my buttons. Okay. It's still big. Come down some more. Okay, this is better now. All right, so I want to change this to what looks like this. I don't know. So I see I have the same color. At this point, I'm going to make this. I'm going to remove this because I want to put my. Nice. I want to put my my earning category there. I'm just going to put my earning category there. What's it called? Earning category. Oh. Okay. So now I can see my earning category, active employees by earning category. You can see medium earners. I have more medium earners. Then I have high earners. Then I have low income earners. Next, I want to show this by sex. Okay, so I can just copy the same thing, Control C, Control V, and I'll paste this here. And just at this time, I want to make it this. And I'm just going to remove just this. Sorry, I need any category. Bring back my any category. Rather, I want to show it by sex of active employees. I want to go and grab the column where I have sex. I want to put sex there. And so I can put my any category on my x-axis. Any category, where's it again? Okay, just grab it. Nice, this is what I want to achieve. Okay, so I have you can see I'm done with the first page now. First page is ready. I have all my visuals ready. And the beautiful thing here is that this will filter each other. For example, if I go check my full-time employees, and then you see how it will filter out, gives you a number of male that are full-time, female that are full-time. It shows you the trend of the full-time employees, and you can just really see everything. It just filters itself. All right, that's what I want to show. This happens by itself. Okay, one final thing is to bring in the two buttons here. So to create buttons, I'll go to my inserts and I'll look for buttons where I have buttons. click on buttons. I'm going to have blank buttons. So click on blank, and now I'll just drag this here. I want two buttons here. Drag this here. Increase it a little. It's too small. I'll make it a little big. Okay. Now I want one button to be an outline and the other button to be, one button will have an outline and the other button will have a fill. That's what I want. I want to place it like this. Okay, so next I'm just going to go and edit this button. I can either click on this and I'll go format, or I'll just bring in my format pane, whichever. You get the same result. And I'll go to my style. For this, I do not want a background. However, I want to go and start styling my button. I'll go to style. The default style is, let's leave it like that. It's a rectangle, and where I have if I turn on the text and I'll turn on this, I'll call this in capital letter trends. So you see trends will just appear there, and then I can make the thing bold, and I'll change the color to this color we're using. You see, just have that. And then one more thing I want to do is to change the border of my button to the same color. So I have, you can see my button is showing all green. Okay. Now next, I'm just going to copy this button and paste. I'll click on this, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. I'll move that here, and for this one, I'll call this the same button. I'm going to call this within text. I'm going to call this segments. Segments. But then I'll change the text to white this time, and I don't want border. However, I want fill, and I want the fill color to be the same. All right. So when I click away, I have, you see how it's looking like now. So I have two buttons now. This is beautiful. Now, in a way, you can see that one of my pages is even ready. Okay. So I have my buttons. But right now, if I control click, nothing happens. See, I control click, it doesn't change. So I'll do that in a minute. In fact, let me even do it now. Now, to make this button active, I have to go and bring in my bookmark first. So I'm going to go over to where I have bookmark, or if you can't find your bookmark here, if you come somewhere to view, you will see bookmarks. Just click on bookmarks and the pin will appear here. I already have it here. So I'm just going to click on bookmarks, and I have my bookmark here. Now I'm going to add a new bookmark, and I'll explain what that is. Just add a new bookmark. So add a new bookmark. I'm going to double click on this, and I'll call this bookmark trends. So this is my trend. Okay. So for this bookmark, it means this bookmark, whenever I click on trend, it will bring up everything that is here like this. All right, as it's like this, once I click on trend, I'll get everything that's here. All right, but there's another bookmark I want to have, which is called segments. Now, to get this, when I click on segment, I wouldn't want to see anything here. I want this place blank. So I'm going to bring in another pane called selections. I'm going to click on the selections. If you don't find it here, comes with the same way I have view, you have selection. Click on selection, and it will appear here. Now for selection, I'm going to hide everything except the two buttons. I'll hide everything except the buttons and the title here. So I'm just going to hide this by clicking on this. Look at this hide here, hide visual, and you see that visual is hidden. Click on the second hide visual. That's also hidden. As I click on these visuals, okay, I don't want to hide this too. I want them open, and I'll hide the images. I don't want the image. I don't want any of the image. I'm just going to hide everything here, including this. Now this is the only thing I want to leave open. So the way it's like this now, I'm going to create another bookmark, and I'm going to call this bookmark segments. I'll enter. So I have two bookmarks now. This first bookmark is depicting the entire of this when it is blank like this. This second one is showing where you have all the visuals. So this other bookmark shows nothing. This other bookmark shows where you have everything. All right. So now that I have this, I can now go back to my formats and let's do this bookmark now. Now click on this button. Now I'll turn on the action, and now I'll go and take this to bookmark, and I'll reference the bookmark called trends. So now whenever I control click on this button now, it will bring me here. Now I'll click on this other button. I'll turn the action on, and I'll take the type to bookmark, and I'll reference the bookmark called segments. So what happens now? When I control click on segment, you see it gives me a blank page. When I control click on trends, it gives me this full report here. Isn't this beautiful? So I control click on trends, I have a blank page. Now in this blank page, I can start creating a new report now. Well, let's try that. So I control click on trends, I have all my report that I just created. I'm going to click on segments, I have nothing. All right, so let's go and construct this report. So for segment, I call it segmentation here. For segment, I showed employee satisfaction. That's what I showed here. If you check this report here, you'll see I showed employee satisfaction by active employees. Okay, because that's the question. I want to show how satisfied are there disparities in compensation and based on. So I want to show how satisfied was your overall engagement and satisfaction within the organization. So I want to show the overall engagement and satisfaction. So I use this visual. Right, let's go check that out. Okay, I'm going to pause the video. Just going to pause the video briefly and up now. All right, so let's go ahead. So I'm looking at how the satisfaction of the employee. That's what I'm looking at now. Because the person is showing how the person says what's the overall employee satisfaction within the organization. All right, so and if you look, let's move over to what we're doing. Okay, so if we look at our data set here, you see the column that talks about employee satisfaction. Okay, you can see employee satisfaction somewhere here. Recruitment source survey, yeah, employee satisfaction. I think 5 meaning employee is very satisfied, 4 meaning satisfied, 3 maybe neutral, 2 will probably mean not satisfied, 1 would be very not satisfied, maybe dissatisfied, so something like that. Okay, so let's try and build a visual to show that. So for that I use a tree map. And this is a tree map. Just use a tree map to depict that. Just put that here, somewhere there, and increase that. And I'm showing that based off of active employees. I'm going to pull this in now, bring this out. So with this tree map selected, I'm showing this based of active employees. So I'm going to go employee satisfaction by active employees. So I'm going to show employee satisfaction. Employee satisfaction, employee satisfaction. All right, so employee satisfaction, I'm going to show that by total active employees. Just show active employees. Okay, so I have something that looks like this. Now that is the thing now. So I don't have to continue customizing this. I'm going to delete this once. Okay, I'm just going to select this and remove this visual. I'll bring it back in a short while. Sorry, remove this. Just remove this. Okay, So I'm going to head over to trends. I'm just going to copy this, going to C, and come back here. Now I'll paste this here. Nice. So I'll make this, I want to make it a trimmer. So I'll just have color difference will not be much, and I'll remove this field. Now I want to bring in my employee satisfaction now. Employee satisfaction. All right, look at the result, as a matter of fact. Okay, so it means I have to customize this now. With this selected, I'm going to go to format. So let's add the customization. The time, okay with the title, active employee satisfaction. I'm just looking for where I have colors. Let's go to colors. This way I can start changing things up. This one is active orange. I don't want active orange. I'm going to want something else. Change that to this major color. Okay. I would have preferred this to be deep green. Change this to a deeper green. Instead of having, okay, what I'll do first is to change this to this green as well. But I'll go ahead and make the green deeper, something like this. Okay, it looks like this. Okay, so there's a difference there. Now instead of having this blue, I'm going to have another shade of green. But this time, it's going to be a lighter shade. So click that and I just move this a little lighter shade, very, very light, something that looks like that. A lighter shade of this green that looks like this. And for this, let's see. I think I'll use orange. If I go back to my color here, look at the colors I have here. I have this orange, which is FF9100. I want this orange to be this color. I want this to be that color. FF9100. I'm gonna go back there and make this FF9100. FF9100. So I have this shade of orange rather, and I think I'm okay with the blue here. So the colors are pretty much okay now. Okay, so I have my colors now. Okay, so I have my colors. Okay, beautiful. This is showing me employee satisfaction. So if you come here, you can see the satisfaction level 75%, 3. 75. I would have loved this in percentage. Let's see how I can do that. So I'm going to pull this in now. Just click this now. So I want to show this. I click on this and show as grant percent of grant total. Okay. So now when I come here, I should have here 36.23% say they're neutral. I can come here. The other 33.3% are very satisfied. 27.0% are satisfied. And then you know this can show me in percentage now. This is what I wanted. Okay, this makes sense now. All right. So I'm going to paste the next view, paste it in Ctrl V, and so I can move this here now. All right, so I don't have to recreate this. Okay, so what's the next visual I'm looking at? I'm looking at sum of absence by race. I'm looking at the absence by race description. Okay, so let's look at that. Absence by race. So which means I should have race description and absence. All right. So maybe I'll go here. I'll remove this. Just remove this visual, and rather I'll bring in race description. Scroll down. Go to race description. Active employees. Now I'm actually looking for absences. Let's see. Absences. Let's see this. All right. So I'm seeing how absent are people in this organization. So you can see white people are even more absent, followed by Black Americans, Asians, Hispanic have the low absence rate in the company. That's what I was trying to show. You know. Now the next thing I wanted to show was to show active employees by performance score. This one was supposed to speak to um, was supposed to speak to also to talking about I was comparing compensations in terms of performance score. So I had to show performance score to total active employees. Let's go back there and try to fix that. I'm just going to copy this, Control C, Control V, and I'll pull that there. I'll just edit a little, move that in. Okay, I'll just push that a little. Okay, so I have this. I'll click on that, and I'm showing performance score with active employees. So I'll go performance score with active employees. So active employees performance score. We'll change this to active employees. Active employees here. Active employees. But instead of risk description here, I want to have my performance score. Scroll down, performance score. All right, so you can see people that have performed really well, number of persons that meet the requirements for the organization to still remain as an employee. As employees, you can see I have performance score here to be 62%. This would have been better if I show it as okay. Let's try that again. Let's see. Just right click on this and show visual as percent of time total. Okay. So this is better. So I can see the percentage of people that fully meet the requirement. You can see people that didn't meet. I think the name here is too long. I can change this. I can go this. I don't like my title there is too long. I think I can even turn it off so I can have more space. Beautiful. I can turn that off. So I have more space there. So I can see performance score and active employees. All right, so I can see the percentage of persons that meet the requirements for the organization. Okay, next thing I want to see was to see, okay, citizen description in terms of people that are citizens of the US, non-citizen, and those are eligible to be citizens. So let's get that visual out. So I'm going to just copy this. I'll just copy this and paste it again. I'll drag that here. But I'm going to reduce this now. But this time I want to really make this to be a slicer. I'm going to grab a slicer. Oops, turn out to be a slicer. And I'll remove everything that I have here. And make that a slicer. Nice. So I'm just going to grab the citizen description here. So now I have, you can see, I think I need to reduce a little, so I can make this a little bigger. So now you can see the percentage of people, the people that are eligible for non-citizenship. Then you have a non-citizen and US citizen. So if I click on this, it filters out this visual, and I see the details for people that are citizens. If I click on this one, it gives me the eligible non-citizen, and I see their details as well. All right, and then one more visual to go, and that will be a table. Now, a table that shows me, I know I should do this now. That shows me race description. It shows me, it gives me. Let's just go ahead and do it. The video is becoming too long. I'm just gonna, I'll just try and hurry up with this. I go grab a table, and you can see it tables table. Just put the table there. Sorry, I'll just copy this and paste again. Sorry, I'll just copy and paste. So I'll put the table will occupy all of the space here. All right. And now I'm going to delete everything that is there. And then I'll make that a table. I'll make that a table. Okay. Now there's a table. What do I have in the table? I want to have my race description, people that fully meet, managers that now for this I had to calculate something called managers that fully meet the description, because this was supposed to speak to I was looking at managers leadership position and their level of engagement in the company. So leadership position and their level of engagement, and then I showed that by race description, their different races, and then so I could calculate, I could see, okay, from the different race, how many how is leadership roles in your organization, affecting the level of engagement. So for this, you can see I calculated things like I want to hurry up now. I calculated things like you can see managers that fully meets the performance score, and then you can see managers that didn't meet. That's what I just basically did here. So I'm going to calculate three different metrics. I'm going to show the first one being you see managers that need improvements, managers that fully meets the requirement, the leadership role position. So I'm just going to copy this, Control C, and I'm going to go back to ours, and let's create new visuals here. Click on this, right click, new measure. All right, so I'm going to call this managers that fully meets. Fully meets. I'm just going to paste, Shift Enter. I'm going to paste, Control V, everything that I've copied there, and I'll say OK. Now there's the column called performance score. Let's check out that column so we can get to understand what I am doing here. All right. So if I go back to my table view, and you see there's a column called performance score. So if you look at performance score, for example, let's performance score again. Okay. Performance score, you see there are people that exceeds the expectation. There are those that fully meets. If I drop this down so you can see, there are those that exceeds, fully meets, those that need improvement, and peak. All right. So I'm looking at managers that fully meet this, those that exceed expectation, and those that need improvement. Okay. So let's go back. So the first one I've calculated here, you see, I'm doing a distant count on that. So I'm saying distant count all the manager name and put filter them where the fully meet expectations. So I'm going to try this for exceeds. I'm going to try this for needs improvement, and then those for peaks. Just the same thing I'm doing. I'll just be changing this, because now for this I'm trying to see, like I explained before, I'm looking at the managers that need improvement, managers that exceed expectation, and that's what I'm just doing here now. All right, so I'm going to go back and just do another new measure. I'll paste the same thing. I'll say exceeds, and then let's call this exceeds expectation. Exceeds expectation, and Shift Enter to go to new space, Control V to paste that. Now I'm going to make this exceeds, just say exceeds. That's all, exceed, that's the only change. I'll say okay, exceeds. And then I'll have a new measure. And then one more, I think I have two more to go. I'm going to click on that new measure. This time I want needs improvements. New measure. Let's call this needs improvements. I'll shift enter to do that, and I'll control V. But in this case, all I'm just doing is needs improvements. Just type here needs improvements. Same word that I saw there. That's all I need to type there, and I'll say okay. And one final one will be peep. I think people mean maybe needs to be replaced or something. I don't know. Let me call this PIP. Shift enter, Control V to paste the same code, but this time I'm going to change meets to PIP. PIP. And I have that ready now. All right, I think it's ready. Let me just view that again to be sure I'm doing the right thing. Just going to look at my performance score again. Performance score. Okay, meets, fully meets, exceeds, exceeds, needs improvement paper. I think I'm correct. Okay. So now I can show this based off of race description. So I'm going to go, I can grab race description first, and race description, scroll down. I have race description, and it can show me this. But something to note here, I don't like backgrounds like this. So I'm just going to, with this selected, I'll go formats and style. Okay, the background is turned off. Okay, I think it could mean one thing. Style presheet. I'm not going to change this to none. So okay, I think I'll prefer this. For grid, I don't want the grid to be white. I want the grid to be one of our colors here. Make this green. Okay, I prefer like this now. Okay, now that I have this, I can now go and start adding all of that, what we've calculated. I was going to do exceeds first, exceed expectation. I'm going to show fully meet expectation, needs improvement, and pay. Now you can see I have what's the word now? I have finished I've finished the entire thing. And if I scroll down, you can see all of that got the same result now. And I can see I've completed the design. But now if I click on, I'm going to click on trend now. You notice that some of these visuals are going to be on trends. If I click on trends, you see all of the visuals that is on segment are now on trends, and this isn't nice. I'm going to fix it. But first, let me go back to segments. I'm going to click on segments. I have segments. Now I'm going to open up my bookmark and my selection pane. That's where I'll fix this. Now, first, I'm now in segment. So I want to update all of this visual to be part of segment. I'm going to right click on segment. I'll say update. So to update all of this visual to be part of segment. But when I go to trend now, it will still be in trend. So I'm not going to hide all of those visuals. I'm going to hide the table. So let me just put this up first. So I hide the table, hide the, it has to be out, sorry. Hide the table, hide the slicer. Nice. Hide this. What is I'm gonna have? Hide this. Hide this. What else? Okay, I've hidden everything now. This is beautiful. This is what I want. So now that I have, I'm in trend, so I'm going to right click trend and update. Now I think everything is fixed now. So now if I go to segments, I see all the visuals in segments. I go to trends, I see all the visuals in trend. Isn't this beautiful? So I've been able to recreate all of those, that beautiful visual report that I did there, in a very short time. If I go to trends, I'm in trends already. I go to visuals, I see visuals, and you know what's beautiful even more? This report can filter each other. As you click on this, you see it just interacts with each other. You can see that. This is beautiful. When I click on, for example, I see those are fully meet. I see my performance score to active employees. If I click on that, you can see, it just shows me that, and it filters out in terms of the managers. You can see everything is just interacting with each other. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. In fact, I can show that in terms of U.S. citizens alone. I want to see data set to only U.S. citizens. I can see that. Look at the white population, look at the Black American population, and then two or more races. I can show that in terms of those that are satisfied with the organization. I click that, it filters even more. So you see those that are satisfied within the white population is even goes and even more. Now I can go to my trends and see what is happening. So in trends now, I can also filter trends. I click on medium. I can play with my visual now. Okay, this is beautiful. Now, I want to thank you if you've stayed this long in this channel. I just started uploading designs that has to do with Power BI and data analysis. So if you love what we're doing in our channel, please subscribe, like, share with those who are starting a career in data analysis, because I'll be dropping one video every week, to help those who are, starting a career in data analysis, to really help them. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.